we'll play you one more clip here because this is coming out of China. And we know there's clear connections with Biden, with China. They're completely owned. They're being blackmailed. We heard at the end of September, about a month ago, you had another Chinese apparatchik. And it was kind of interesting to me because this guy, Guo, he's got 4 different names. He's got 3 different birthdays or vice versa, 3 names and 4 birthdays. I don't know. He's a pretty shady character. He came out of nowhere to be a very high-ranking Chinese official and therefore became a billionaire because that's the way it works there and now in America as well. You know, you got people like Barack Obama, never had a job, no specialty, no business. He's a community organizer, but now he's phenomenally wealthy. Funny how that works out. Same as it does in China. And so this guy fell out with the Chinese crooks that were there, Guo. He's the Chinese billionaire that Bannon was arrested on his yacht. And they had been given some of these hard drives, these 3 hard drives. Of course, they were also on Biden's laptop. They had 3 hard drives filled with blackmail material that they had compiled on Hunter Biden. You know, things like that have been put out by the Gateway Pundit. Hunter Biden, they put this out. They said, well, we held these up for several days, consulting with our lawyers. We only put up one of them and redacted it. But we've got a lot of pictures of Hunter Biden disrobed and exposing himself with a certain minor. And so these were blackmail materials that, according to this corrupt Chinese billionaire, and I think he is corrupt. I mean, again, you don't become a high-ranking Communist Party official and a billionaire in China unless you're corrupt. But there's different mafia families, just like we have different mafia families here in the United States. We have the Biden family, we have the Bush family, we have the Trump family, we have these different, the Clinton family, we have these different crime families. We've got the Gates family. Some of them are in politics, some of them are just in business. And there they have different families as well. And so there's a competition as Xi started consolidating even more power to himself. Why? Because they can never have enough power. As Xi and another individual named Wang, who's like the number 2, started consolidating power and arresting some of these people who had been working with them and had been operatives for them, some of the other mafia families in China decided that they would take some action on their own and send some of this stuff around. And of course, this other, this exiled billionaire criminal that's working with Bannon is one of those. It doesn't mean to say that this stuff is not true. I think it is true. I'm just telling you how this is all set up. It's one, like I said before, it's the Tattaglias coming after the Corleones and vice versa, showing this stuff. I mean, remember, The Godfather, you know, they arranged to have that politician put into a compromising position so they can get pictures and blackmail him, and that's the way these guys all operate. They're all just mafia criminals. And when we look at this, understand these people are totally owned and blackmailed by the Chinese. And what do the Chinese want to do? Well, they're using the model, as they point out in these disk drives. The first disk drive was a bunch of blackmail material on the Bidens. The second one was, let's see, there was one disk that was just set up with financial documents about the long-term plans of Xi and Wang in China to use things like the Belt and Road Initiative, as they've used it as leverage to enact tyranny in Melbourne, Australia, to do that around the world, to put themselves in control of many governments, including the United States government, including the United Nations. And so there were 3 different disk drives that had that information. So as we look at this, I just want to throw into the mix before we talk about show this short clip about them talking about how Bidens have been compromised with China. Reason Magazine had a thing saying elections cannot cure a sick political culture. They said, quoting from Pew Research, overwhelming majorities of both Biden and Trump supporters say that if the other candidate wins in November, they would not only be concerned about the country's direction, but that this would lead to lasting harm to the nation. And I think they'd both be right. I think whichever side wins, it's going to be a bad direction for the country, and it's going to lead to lasting harm. Seriously. Fully 90% of Biden supporters say this about Trump's reelection, while 89% of Trump supporters say this about the prospect of Biden as president. So you say 90% of the people who support one candidate, either one, think that the country is going to go to hell in a handbasket if the other guy wins. And they would be right. And they would be right. And both of them are right. That's the saddest thing about this. And what's even sadder is the fact that we think that if our guy wins, everything is going to be okay. And that we need to fix our country by who is in the White House. You know, our problems in our country, I'll give you a description of our problems in our country. Our courts oppose the righteous. Justice is nowhere to be found. Truth has stumbled in the streets, and honesty has been outlawed. Truth is gone. Anyone who renounces evil is attacked. Oh, does that sound like America? It sounds like America to me. Boy, you renounce evil, you are attacked, you're purged, right? You're kicked off of social media. You're accused of being hateful, a conspiracy theorist. No, this is actually Isaiah 59. This is talking about ancient Israel. The Lord looked and was displeased to find that there was no justice. He was amazed. God was amazed to see that no one intervened to help the oppressed. So what did he do? He himself stepped in to save them with his strong arm. There is no savior coming from the Republicans or the Democrats. These people are both hopelessly corrupt. Look at the real estate dealings. Look at the subsidies of the Trump family, as well as these crimes of the Bidens. They are corrupt criminal families, just like these competing corrupt criminals in China. You will find no salvation. You will find no rest. You will find no justice or help from any of these people. They're in it to help themselves. Biden knows it. Trump knows it. Biden said it in the debate. Well, he wants to do this for his family. I'm about my family. What about your family? Yeah, what about your family? What about your family? There's no help coming from these people. They're going to keep you locked down, keep you poor, keep you oppressed. They got 5G and vaccines lined up to control you, to watch you, to kill you, to cripple you. That's what they have. They're looking out for their family. When are you going to look out for your family? When are you going to look out for yourself? When are you going to look to God? You know, we've denied God in this country. We have worse criminals even than Biden in place. We got people like Gina Haspel. Imagine the fact that Gina Haspel lied to get us into the Iraq War. Imagine the fact that the people who told us the truth about Gina Haspel are locked up and being killed. People like Julian Assange. Yeah, honesty is outlawed. Anyone who renounces evil, like the Iraq War, is attacked and killed. That's where we are. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. Stay with us.